Hey guys, now we are here at the small town of Angels Camp located in Calaveras County in California. So let's go and explore this mining town. Welcome to Angels Camp, California, a small gold rush town with a big story. As we walk down Main Street, you're standing on ground that once shook with the sound of pickaxes, wagon wheels, and dreams of striking it rich. It all began in 1848 when Henry Pinckney Angel, a Rhode Island prospector, joined an expedition of 92 men leaving Monterey for the gold country. After stops at Weaver Creek and other sites, they found Promise where an unnamed tributary met Dry Creek. That was the birthplace of Angel's Camp. Angel opened the first store in a tent, trading essentials for gold. And by spring of 1849, nearly 300 miners worked along Angels Creek. Placer gold quickly ran low, but the town's trading center kept it alive. In 1854, a major quartz discovery on the Davis Winters claim brought renewed prosperity. Mines along the vein parallel to today's Highway 49 employed arrestras, steam-powered stamp mills, and water-powered mills. As we continue walking, take a look at the stone and brick buildings lining the street. These aren't just charming, they're survivors. The fires of 1855 and 56 tore through Angel's Camp, wiping out wooden structures. When the town rebuilt, it rebuilt strong. Many of these buildings date back over 150 years ago. Now imagine this street in the 1860s. It's loud, miners from all over the world, China, Ireland, Italy, Mexico crowd the sidewalks. Gold dipped from deep quartz veins beneath the town fuels a second mining boom, turning Angel's Camp into one of the richest areas in the Sierra foothills. Well, up ahead is the legendary Angels Hotel. Pause here for a moment, because this is where history took a literary turn. In 1865, a traveler named Mark Twain stayed here. While listening to local miners swap tall tales, he heard a story about a frog trained to outjump all others. That story became the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County, launching Twain to national fame and forever linking Angel's Camp to American literature. Every year, the story comes alive again during the Calaveras County Jumping Frog Jubilee, a tradition that's been hopping strong since 1928. What started as a joke became a world-famous event. One of our favorite places is the Stories in Stones. fossils and crystals tell stories millions of years old. By the 1880s, technological advances and outside investment ushered an industrial mining era. Major operations Sultana, Angels Quartz, Lightner, and Utica mines boosted the population and made Angels Camp one of California's most productive mining areas. The 1890 census recorded 917 residents, and the town's growing ethnic diversity brought Serbian, Italian, French, Irish, and Chinese immigrants into the community. Some trilobites swam in seas that covered California 15 million years ago, and quartz crystals grew deep underground under intense heat and pressure. An Angels Camp mother lode gold was trapped inside quartz, the same crystal admired today. The Sierra Railway arrived in 1902, offering farmers and ranchers a path to broader markets, though the county remained relatively isolated. As we keep moving, notice how quiet it feels today. By the early 1900s, mining slowed. During World War II, gold mining was declared non-essential, and by 1942, the mines closed for good. Instead of disappearing like many mining towns, Angels Camp adapted, shifting toward ranching, tourism, and preserving its past. This is Claussen's Corner. Began in the 1850s as a Central Park Hotel and later became a well-known local bar, reflecting the town's colorful gold rush era past. Just down the road is the Angels Camp Museum, where mining equipment, old photographs, and restored buildings tell the deeper story of daily life during the gold rush. From hard work, high hopes, and real resilience. Following the brochure, let's take a walking tour. Let's begin our tour at the Raspberry and Main, where Angels Camp once buzzed with stamp mills, saloons, and dance halls. The former City Hall was the Starcevic Salon in the 1880s and later a Prohibition-era source of strong bootleg whiskey. Circa 1880, site of Crooked Nose Joe's Saloon and boarding house. Over the years, it housed many restaurants. Built around 1890, it was where fire hose handguard was once stored. Along with alerting the volunteers to a fire, curfew was also rung on this bell. Site of the jewelry store of Peter Johnson around 1890. In the back was the Angels Post Office. Now it's an Italian bar and market. This building once housed the shop of Ignatius and Fan Remember cigar maker, where hand-rolled cigars were crafted and sold to local patrons. Former offices of the Calaveras Californian, which became today's Calaveras Enterprise. Since 2008, Gold Rush Originals has offered gold panning tours. Old location of the Goodell Barden Drugstore and Suitatorium. In the 1900s, the post office moved here. Now it's a Western wear emporium. Formed in 1900 by local businessmen, The Calaveras County Bank provided a secure place for residents' gold and savings. In 1930, it was taken over by the Bank of Italy, later known as Bank of America. One of the earliest buildings still standing. Built in 1856 as a general merchandise company by E&G Stickle. It is now the Stories and Stones Emporium. Circa 1880, site of early day saloons and clothing stores. In 1935, the post office moved here. It is now a salon and a bakery. The Brosimer Building, housed a dry goods mercantile in 1860, and was the first store in town to operate on a cash-only basis. Built around 1900, site of doctor offices and several stores. Circa 1854, the Oddfellows Building. The hall is upstairs. Downstairs has been used as a cigar store, saloon, and dry goods. It is now Crafty Chick's gift shop. Built around 1893 by Dowling as an addition to the Angels Hotel. In 1907, the saloon moved in here. Today, it is Calaveras Custom Sign Shop. Built in 1855, the Angels Hotel is linked to Mark Twain's 1865 tale, The Jumping Frog. Early Chinatown location, filled with Chinese homes, businesses, and hillside cemetery. Repeated fires destroyed the area, leaving only 2 stone buildings. Constructed in the 1860s, it was the first store owned by Sam Choi, a Chinese merchant. The city later purchased it and used it as a jail, until the law compelled the city to have an attendant with the prisoner, and it was closed. It was built by the Peirano Lemieux family in 1860. Directly in front of it was the Peirano store, started in 1850. The Angels Camp Fire Department evolved from a volunteer force to a city-run department. The town's first fire engine is displayed at the museum. Location of the old railroad. The first train reached Angels Camp on September 15, 1902, linking mines and timber to San Francisco. Service ended in 1935, tracks were removed in 1940, and the depot on Depot Road is now a private home. The footbridge over Angels Creek. Once provided a shortcut for Finnegan Lane and in the 1890 Grammar School. It was restored in 1998 by the native daughters of the Golden West, Ruby Parlor. Built in the 1880s, Hubler Brewery and Soda Works serve Angels with beers and nearby saloon, offering miners refreshment near the former roundhouse. The Old Utica Hospital. Built in 1894 by the Utica Company to care for mining accident victims, with Dr. Dora in charge. Site of the 1848 Henry P. Angels Trading Post, where Angel Camp began. Successive owners rebuilt after fires, reflecting the early residents' perseverance. Site of a blacksmith shop in the 1870s and later a buggy factory. The building was destroyed in the flood of 1909. Even today, longtime residents of Angels recall the days when most travel was done by horse and buggy. The Utica Hotel building began as the site of a commercial hotel with saloon, tailor shop, and teen shop. It was destroyed by fire and rebuilt in its present Art Deco style as the Bazinet Hotel in 1937. It now consists of different shops. Began as a saloon, then barbershop, millinery store, and finally the Bank of America. The 1898 vault door is still in use. Today, it's Paul James Jewelers. Circa 1890, the city drugstore operated by Dr. Dora. The first telephone exchange in Angels Camp was located here. Now, it's Ladies and Gents Consignment Shop. Built around 1890, in 1906, the Davy Crockett Saloon, home of Angels Camp baseball team. Now, it's Nellie Louise Antique Shop. Circa 1890, built as Rose Butcher Shop. Now, it's Cascabel Restaurant. Built around 1910, location of the telephone office, Himnen Brothers Store, and post office. Now, Shorty's Barber Shop. The Sierra Club was built in the 1860s as a warehouse for the Stickle brothers across the street. It later became a saloon and game room and is now Cruzco's Ristorante. Built as a saloon. Today, it's Prestige Gallery and Frame Shop. The Miners Hall once occupied the site. Now the beautiful Art Deco Angels Theater. Also built in 1937 by Mr. Vazinet. Houses 6 screens. In the earliest days, an ice cream parlor and jewelry store. Since occupied by a variety of businesses. Now home to the post office. Circa 1850, site of the Central Park Hotel, later the Waverly Stage Stop and now a saloon. Pickled Porch. This site began as a revelry house in 1857, the Calaveras Hotel around 1870, and was run by the Roleri family until a fire in 1938. The 50-room hotel eased housing shortages and House Butcher, Western Union, Saloon, and Angels Camp's first movie house. Circa 1850, up the hill to the Love House, the oldest house in Angels, built by Alexander Love. This structure, around 1860, once housed a livery stable and later a blacksmith shop. The Union Congregational Church. Built in 1904, served as a parish founded 35 years earlier in what was considered one of the calmer mother lode towns. The Pirano House, a Greek Revival architecture, which remained in the family until it was sold out of the estate in 1993. This stone building with iron doors was the mercantile store of the Largomarsino brothers. It is reported to be the oldest building in town, having survived all 3 fires including the last major fire in 1856. This building's basement once hosted a bocchiali for the town's Italian community among its diverse miners from Cornwall, Italy, China, Mexico, and the Balkans. Formerly used by Judge McClory as his court and office. Circa 1900. popular rooming house for miners. Downstairs was a jewelry store, but now it's an ice cream shop. Utica Park. Site of the Utica mine shaft. Developers include Charles Lane and James Fair of the Comstock Lode fame. There are still plenty of remnants from its mining days. Serbian church built around 1910. Second oldest Serbian church in the United States. The church is dedicated to Saint Basil of Ostrog, the wonder worker. Catholic cemetery, built around 1855. Protestant cemetery, also built around 1855. Serbian cemetery, circa 1910. The historic resting place of the hundreds of immigrant Serbs who came to the Gold Country between 1848 and the start of World War I. Arriving from such places as Bosnia, Herzegovina, Montenegro, Serbia, and Croatia. Most took up work in the then evolving mining industry. As our walk comes to an end, it's clear that Angels Camp isn't frozen in time, it's a living history. Every storefront, every stone wall, every quiet corner downtown carries echoes of fortune seekers, storytellers, and a town that refused to fade away. So guys, that's it for Angels Camp, the town of frogs. Until next time, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye! If you like our videos, please click thumbs up for like.
Hit the bell to subscribe!
Please comment.
And don't forget to share!